Om. सदाशिवसमारम्भाम्
सदाशिवसमारम्भाम्
शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम्
शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम्
अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम्
अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम्
वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्
वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्
वसुदेवसुतं देवम्
वसुदेवसुतं देवम्
कंसचाणूरमर्दनम्
कंसचाणूरमर्दनम्
देवकी परमानन्दम्
देवकी परमानन्दम्
कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्.
कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्.
We'll say 12th श्लोक of 12th chapter. श्रेयो हि ज्ञानम् अभ्यासात्
श्रेयो हि ज्ञानाभ्यासात्
ज्ञानात् ध्यानं विशिष्यते
ज्ञानात् ध्यानं विशिष्यते
ध्यानात् कर्मफलत्यागः
ध्यानात् कर्मफलत्यागः
त्यागात् शान्ति अनन्तरम्.
त्यागः शान्ति अनन्तरम्.
And we have seen so far, and we'll revisit the whole thing up to 12th chapter. So that's what Bhagavan is saying, this Adhyatmik Yatra. So the smallest element is Abhyas, and the peak is Shanti, uninterrupted, Anantaram. That's it. वो कोई भी काम करें यही एक प्रैक्टिस एंड शांति, दैट्स इट. एंड बीच में पूरी जर्नी है, एंड जर्नी वेरियस वेज वी डू दैट, वी हैव सीन इन भगवद गीता एंड वील सी फर्दर. So now the seventh shloka, second chapter, which is Arjun's prarthana to Bhagwan, which is our prarthana too. Karpanya dosho upahat svabhavah
कार्पण्यदोषो उपहत् स्वभावः
prachami tvam dharma sammudha chetah
पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः
yat shreyasat nishchitam bruhi tanme
यच्छ्रेयस्या निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे
शिष्यस्तेहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्.
शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधि मां त्वां प्रपन्नम्.
So Arjuna is saying that because of that karpanya dosh, means the weakness of heart, or that we, this feeling the low, that's, we can say, karpanya dosh. And I'm forgetting my swadharma, I'm forgetting my what I'm supposed to do, I'm forgetting the right choice, which is Shreyas. So he's saying, okay, I come to you, I mean, I surrender to you, Bhagwan, and just guide me towards Shreyas, right, which is the best choice for me in any situation. And that's the reason that is a very wonderful prarthana, always valid. All other prarthana have a similar message, but this is very, very well done because this is happening in the middle of battlefield and part of Bhagavad Gita. Very, very well prayed by Arjun. And the entire Bhagavad Gita is answer to this one prayer. Arjun ने बोला कि मुझे बताइए, and then Bhagavan has told him the right way, and which we are enjoying, right? It's the remaining of almost 650 shlok or so, 600. So we completed last time 12th chapter. So as Shripal ji had a good suggestion, he said, and Naveen Bhai also said the same thing. So now after 12th chapter, it's a kind of a little, upgrade, we can say in simple terms, or next level. So now 13th chapter onward is the next level of understanding Bhagavan. Assume Arjun has, and Arjun's question also will change, keep changing. So 13th chapter, so typically our acharyas have broken down into three parts of Bhagavad Gita, and you can read, there are a lot of commentaries around that. But key thing is there. So what Shripal ji also suggested, can we revisit, because क्या होता है कि now if 13 onwards, if we don't remember the core teaching or the fundamental teaching, although Bhagavad Gita is not linear, it's not कि वो 13 के बाद 14 आएगा, 14 के बाद वो तो अर्जुन पूछता है, भगवान is answering. So it is not a linear teaching, but still Arjun has in whatever Bhagwan told in his mind, which we don't. So if we don't have the same thing, then we'll not get what Bhagwan is saying. or sometimes we'll not understand why Arjun is asking this. So that's the reason. So it's good. Let's revisit. तो अभी हम लोगों के, I'll just give an example. हम लोगों के बाल बाल विहार में या मंदिर में हम बच्चों को श्लोक सिखाते हैं. अब अभी क्या होता है, कुछ टीचर को मैं बोलता भी हूँ कि भाई ये सिखाना तो बच्चों को है, बट डोंट जस्ट गेट ओवरवेल्म, मेक किड्स ओवरवेल्म. क्योंकि अब टीचर को तो याद है, तो वो तो एकदम उनको उत्साह आ जाता है ना कि अब बच्चे, स्पेशली बच्चे, किड्स हियर इन अमेरिका, आई मीन इज समटाइम डिफिकल्ट फॉर देम टू प्रोनाउंस सम ऑफ द संस्कृत वर्ड, एंड देन यू उनको बहुत सारा, बट एनी करते हैं. आई मीन बच्चे सीखते हैं. वी ऑल सीन दैट आवर ओन किड्स हैव लर्न. तो अभी लास्ट मंथ में वी हैड दैट, बच्चों को श्लोका, एक्चुअली इट्स अ काइंड ऑफ नॉट एग्जाम, बट वी मेक इट सो दैट इट्स ऑनलाइन. ये बच्चे को बोलते हैं सुनाओ अभी, यू विल ग्रेड यूर कंपटीशन, जो भी नाम दे के थोड़ा सा जस्ट टू. तो देयर इज वन किड इज लिटिल, छोटा है, आई थिंक 5 साल का, वो एकदम आ गया, राइट. एंड देन उसको टीचर ने पूछा कि आई वाज देयर एज ऑब्जर्वर कि ओ शार, उसका नाम शारविल है, या शारविल और सम नेम, राइट. उसको पूछा कि यू नो बेटा दिस श्लोक. अब कोई श्लोक था, राइट, गायत्री मंत्र था, समथिंग टाइटल देके. तो वो 1 मिनट के लिए सोचता है, छोटा बच्चा था, वो कहता है कि आई डोंट नो दैट इफ आई नो दिस श्लोक. See now the answer, he's so overwhelmed. He said, I don't know that I know this shlok. I said, उसको छोड़ो अभी पीछे. So sometime if the teaching, we are overwhelmed by the teaching, this happens.
What is this? This is iPhone?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think somebody has to mute. Anyway, so yeah, please mute. Yeah. So that's
This
happens.
thing needs to be, I don't know why your screen is so big
Okay,
that you
me-
cannot even access the screen.
okay, let me.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so that's happens, right? So that's the reason we have to revisit. Otherwise, if we forget, and there are 2 core things in the Bhagavad Gita, fundamental. One is karma and one is gyan. That's it. सब कुछ उसी पे build है. But if I forget that what is gyan and what is karma, then आगे की teaching वैसे ही है कि I don't know if I know this or not, like that. So it's good to always revisit. That's the reason we should read certain shlok of Bhagavad Gita every day. And I have provided list to many people. They ask me, I said, okay, here are the shlok. If you read them every day and just थोड़ा सा उसको slowly get the meaning, then you start enjoying whenever you read Bhagavad Gita forward, right? Otherwise फिर वही भूलने वाली बात हो जाएगी. हम लोग, I was in Dubai, तो we used to work for an Arab owner. सब वो अरब ही थे वो लोग. अभी उसमें क्या था कि मार्केटिंग ठीक है, आई मीटिंग देखी तो one of the son wanted to work in finance. So then our finance manager suggested, who was Indian, कि भाई you have to know English, right? Arabic में finance will not work, right? तो और ओनर said, what you do? उसको इंग्लिश के लिए भेज दो. तो उसको लंदन भेज दिया हमने. तो पहले इंग्लिश सीख के आ गया. अब इंग्लिश सीख के आ गया, लेकिन उसको फाइनेंस समझ में नहीं आ रहा था. तो उसको उन्होंने कहा फिर इसको फाइनेंस की ट्रेनिंग दीजिए. तो वो फाइनेंस की ट्रेनिंग ले गया. जब फाइनेंस सीख के आया तो जब हमारे बॉस जो ओनर थे वो आके उसने पूछा CFO से, इंडियन था, हाउ इज ही डूइंग नाउ? ही सेड नाउ ही हैज फॉरगॉटन द इंग्लिश. फाइनेंस सीख के आ गया, अभी क्या करेंगे? तो इट्स लाइक दैट. So we have to make sure that we understand so with that I'll open a screen, and as Ripalji suggested, we'll do that. And it is not about like I'll okay, so let me, and then we'll go to 13th chapter. वो तो 13th chapter तो हम शुरू कभी भी कर सकते हैं, but let's little bit. So I have my own notes which let me know when you see my screen. Okay, now you see my screen.
कुछ दिख नहीं रहा है. Okay, now yes, we can see now.
The PDF, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do this first, and then so this is the first thing we should, if we are revisiting Bhagavad Gita, this Gita Dhyanam, which is written by our Acharya Madhusudan Saraswati ji, exactly summarizes what Bhagavad Gita is saying. So Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advait Amrit Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshinim. and in English is also given. So what is Acharya ji saying कि व्यास जी ने, of course व्यास जी ने लिखी है कि this has happened in the middle of महाभारत, but स्वयं भगवान नारायण ने स्वयं भगवान ने ही प्रतिबोधिताम उसको बताया है, और व्यास जी ने उसको कंपाइल किया है. बताया किसको? पार्थ को. So the first statement is that there is a teacher, there is a student, there is a teaching going on. So Bhagavad Gita is a teaching. We can chant, we can all enjoy, but the Bhagavad chanting ke liye, there are many other things we can chant. So I personally feel that it's good to chant Bhagavad Gita, but Bhagavad Gita Sanskrit is not that like for chanting. There are many other very well compiled verses which are good for chanting. So here it is teaching. So that's Partha Pratibodhitam. Parth को बताने के लिए, समझाने के लिए भगवान ने स्वयं, he said that. The next is Advait Amrit Varshini. The core teaching is Advait. So it's Advait Vedanta, right? Bhagavad theme. It is coming from Bhagwan. That's why it is like divine. Ashtadashadhyayinim, 18th chapter. Ashtadashadhyayinim. And then next line, Amb. So unko Gita Mata, Amb means mother. So it is like mother. Tvam anusandadhami. And he is saying कि मैं mother, I come to you. Anusandadhami, inquiry. Anusandadhami means research. जो अभी तो हम लोग like chat GPT, all those, this is all research, right? All we give a call to Google, it goes through multiple engines and give the answer. So the thing with the inquiry. So that's what he's saying. Anusandadhami, I do the inquiry. Bhagavad Gita bhavdveshini. Bhavdvesh means, Dvesh means the difficulties in the sansar, that is bhavdvesh, and that removes the difficulties. And we all have the problems in sansar, and Arjun had the same problem. प्रॉब्लम संसार की थी. संसार से उठ जाओ तो प्रॉब्लम खत्म हो जाती. उठ जाओ मीन्स कहीं जाना नहीं संसार से. लाइक आई एम नॉट सेइंग उठ जाओ, उठने वाला उठना. इट्स लाइक स्टेइंग अवे, डिटैच्ड. So this is what Bhagavad Gita. So whenever we read Bhagavad Gita, we are making an inquiry as if we are making inquiry to mother. And I'm sure जिन्होंने compile किया आचार्य जी ने, they use the word Amba means mother, say parents also. Because they are the one, they will never give the wrong advice. Parents will never give. If they give it, it's a different, they should not. But in general, they'll never give. If you go to parents and ask something, you get the best answer. Or they'll find out for you. So that's why he's saying, mother, I'm coming to you and making an inquiry. Inquiry about what? ये bhavdvesh जो है, ये संसार में whatever problems are there in them, how do I overcome? And that is what Bhagavad Gita teaching is. So and then this one is our logo. It is designed by Bhakti with my help. So this is very copyright. There's no copyright, but you won't find this is my own creation. So what is Bhagavad Gita in simple terms? So last shloka of every chapter, Bhagwan says, right? Brahma Vidyayam Yog Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade. So it is a samvad, which is a dialogue. It is not Bhagwan is lecturing on his own. Dialogue means, and especially when the dialogue happens between one maybe teacher or student or someone who knows more than you, it's a positive, it's a teaching. So that's why it is samvad. But what is the samvad is? It is about Brahma Vidya. And what is Brahma Vidya? And in one word, if you say you are complete, that is Brahma Vidya. The moment I realize I am complete, I have the Brahma Vidya. Or moment I have Brahma Vidya, I am complete. It's Purna. इसलिए हम लोग तो पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं सब हमारे श्लोक भी इस तरह के. And then Yog Shastra. So it tells the way to reach to that completeness. That's why Shastra means, by definition, Shastra means Shasanat iti Shasati iti Shastra. The one which guides you. Shasan means the guidance, the rules, regulation, the way. So Gita tells the way, and that's what Bhagavan has told many ways in the Bhagavad Gita, which we have seen, right? And we keep seeing that. To completeness. The goal is to reach to completeness. And that's what this next chapter is all about. We'll go to that. So this is, now this is a summary of, I can share you with later on. But this is is it enough you can read, or should I zoom a little bit?
We can read, but zoom thoda अच्छा रहेगा.
Okay, let me figure out where is, yeah, that is here. Yeah, थोड़ा सा zoom कर देता हूँ. I think, yeah, it's hiding here. Okay, now it's better, right? Now it's better?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so these are all, we can see up to 12th chapter, because 13 will start. So these are all the chapters. So first chapter is Arjun Vishad Yog. Vishad means moha delusion. And so there are three elements in Bhagavad Gita. Jeev, which is us. Jagat, which is this whole world. The Prakriti, we call it Maya, Bhagwan ki. And Bhagwan himself. There are three things. That's it. So all first 6 chapter, if we see, it is mostly about Jeev and Jagat. Bhagwan is telling Arjun, and that's what we say, who you are, or Tattvamasi mein, that Tvam part. It's all about Sansar up to 6 chapter. 6 chapter में थोड़ा सा भगवान ने बात करी है, थोड़ा सा उपासना की. Then 7th onward we see it's all mostly Bhagwan. 7th to 11th we saw that. It's all about Bhagwan. Our Acharya says Tvam, Tattvamasi mein Tvam is Bhagwan. And the last what we are going, this is I mean our Shastra says this is about finally realizing that Bhagwan and me are one. That Brahma Jiva Aikyam, we call it. So that is from 13th chapter. We'll see when we'll go to 30. So what I was thinking, let's see, for example, chapter number 1. And Shipalji, open that Shlok 37, chapter number 1. And that's why, I mean, I have put this. The Shlok tells actually the summary, what this chapter is talking about, right?
Should I read, Sanjay ji?
Yeah. So you can read the English. I mean, we
English.
can, yeah, right. So anyway, we can read Sanskrit also. We have time. We'll see whatever time left. We'll do that. 13th chapter we can start next time. But it is important because that's a beginning of Bhagavad Gita. So you read it and you in a couple of minutes you describe what is happening here, right?
Oh, okay. आप संस्कृत में पढ़ेंगे?
I just picked you like इसलिए नहीं
नहीं आप मुझे संस्कृत I will mess up.
Okay, so
आप
I'll read
संस्कृत
it. तस्मान हार्य वयं हन्तु धार्तराष्ट्रान् स्वबान्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुखिनः स्याम माधव. And then 29 after 37 we have to read 29, 30. And so you'll see that, like, so 20 this shlok of Arjun, you read that Arjun is saying, and 29 and 30 where you see what Arjun is describing his condition, and read this too, and then you put your thoughts, what is happening here.
Right.
Okay.
So should I read the English
part?
37?
You can go with
Okay.
English. Yeah. And then just
so 37. Therefore it does not behove us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, our relatives, for how can we be happy by killing our own kinsmen, O Madhava? So basically, should we read the 29, 30 and then conclude?
Yeah. They all together, three go together.
Okay.
मैंने उसको order change कर दिया because that's where right.
So 29, Arjuna said, seeing these, O Krishna, one's own kinsmen arrayed, desirous to fight, my limbs fail and my mouth is parched, my body trembles and my hair stands on end. And 30 mein, Gandhiva slips from my hand and my skin burns all over my mind. All over. My mind was as it were, and I'm not able to stand. So my understanding is basically Arjuna is very deluded. He is confused कि मैं मेरे relatives के साथ कैसे fight कर सकता हूँ. Like, I mean, how can I fight with my own relatives? And so I'm not, even though I'm a warrior, I know everything, I know how to fight, but I'm very deluded and I don't have the courage to fight. I'm in like a panic state. So please guide me.
So आपके लिए the patient is standing in front of you, right? Yeah. So that is all these things, what is happening here is called Vishad, which we call in modern term depression or feeling low. These are all the conditions of someone in Vishad.
Sure.
So, but in the 37 shlok, he is giving a very, very good logic, right? What's the point killing our own?
What is the point?
Yeah. So, why Arjun has come with that thought that why should we kill our own people? I mean, he used to kill a lot of people. I mean, he was a warrior. I mean, in the war, but here,
I think there's a feeling of guilt. Even what is the point of doing that? And then, of course, I know the following chapters, but
yeah,
जैसे कृष्ण जी explain करेंगे, but I mean, I think he is deluded and confused, and then, of course, he does not want to carry that guilt of, killing his own family members.
yeah. So I think there is something more behind that guilt.
Okay.
That's not guilt, because
Oh, okay.
guilt तो उसको है नहीं ना, वो तो he was a warrior, right? He had no
Right,
problem.
right.
Yeah.
No, but उनके खुद के families है, so
No. So he's trying to find the escape, right? जैसे छोटे बच्चे होते हैं ना,
okay.
No,
Okay.
I'll do it next time. So
Okay,
yeah,
got it.
so he loves war. He loves that, right? So this time he's trying to find a logic, right? A rational which is illogical this time.
Okay. He's trying to avoid the fight.
Exactly. And this is where, and that is called moh. So जब मोह होता है, then we have all this shivering and everything. If there is, and their example is like, that being a doctor, if my own person is in hospital bed and somebody else is there, yeah, I have empathy and I'll say, oh, somebody is sick, but just replace that sick person with my own person, then whole thing changes. I'm nervous. I have like nervous colitis. I have all kind of things. That is because of the moh. And the entire Bhagavad Gita teaching is Bhagwan got it. ये इसको चक्कर हो गया, right? So that is what. So this is important. These two shlok, because that's where we know that. And whenever we are into this situation, there is some moh. The only way answer is वो तो will the entire Bhagavad Gita answer to that moh कैसे हटाना. So that's the reason this chapter, these three shloks. So let's go to then next chapter, which is Sankhya. That's why Vishad. So all that is Vishad, delusion or moh. So now next chapter is called Sankhya or Gyan Yoga. So second and third are the foundational chapter. Like, these days we use that STEM, for especially the kids who are not in good education system. So government is promoting STEM, like science, technology, engineering, and math. Because if you know those things, you can create a skill which you can find a job or work, right? So similarly, ज्ञान और कर्म जो है ना, ये they are like आध्यात्मिक यात्रा में, especially Bhagavad Gita, or if we don't understand ज्ञान and कर्म, then it's all we can read as academic, but we may not imbibe the teaching. And that's the reason these two chapters are the pretty third, fourth, fifth, they go together, but especially second, third. So let's look at the Atma Gyan. So there are a number of shlokas I have marked. So let's go to second chapter and so second shlok.
The blessed.
Yeah, who wants to take it? Like maybe anyone can pick it, or I don't want to choose it. But the second shlok is where first time Bhagwan is describing based on 37, 29, 30 shlok. Bhagwan has commented. He has not started the teaching. So let's take the second shlok. Anyone can take the second shlok and just give your few brief on that. Naveen Bhai by default, but if anybody else wants to take that, right? Okay, Naveen Bhai, please go ahead. Second shlok of second chapter. Oh, you're on mute, Naveen Bhai.
It says, Krutasva kasmalam idam vishame samupasthitam anarya justam asvargam akirtim karam Arjuna. Whence has this dejection come upon you in a crisis unworthy of an Aryan, attaining neither heaven nor fame, O Arjun. So I guess, the basic, like the first, he talked about this attachment. It is always easy to fight an enemy, but it's never, when you have to fight your own, it is always difficult because of attachment. And so if you are expert like Arjun was, he was the greatest archer of his time, and he's standing and his purpose is to fight enemy. So Bhagwan is reminding him that what are you doing here? Your own purpose is fighting an enemy, and you are the greatest fighter there is. So where did you get this kind of act? Why are you doing this kind of anarya, unworthy action? It is not going to give either swarga, heaven, or fame. So it's like in crisis, we sometimes forget because of something which was bothering Arjun, was attachment to his family. And same thing can happen, any expert doctor, and all of a sudden, if he doesn't know and if he has to operate on somebody of his own, child or somebody, it is very difficult for him. And if he gives up his instrument and says, I'm not going to do that, it's just like that.
Yeah, that's correct. So again, like Shipaji, going back to the first, Bhagwan is very clear. He is reminding him of his responsibility. Because if he, I mean, that's why Arjun 7th श्लोक में फिर बोलेगा कि धर्म सम्मूढ़ चेता. Dharma is responsible. So he is saying you're responsible, Arjun. In this situation, you are saying I don't want to. So aswargyam means, of course, like it's not. People won't remember you. Why we remember George Washington or Abraham Lincoln or Bhagat Singh or Lakshmi Bai kind of people? Why remember? Because they did what they were responsible for, taking an action at the time, and they did it. So that's why Bhagavan is saying people remember only those who fulfill the responsibility at the required time. So that's what this shlok is. Bhagavan, he's not teaching right now. He's just telling him that you are responsible, Arjun. उनको लग रहा था कि अगर ये मान जाएगा तो फिर गीता खत्म ही मतलब शुरू ही नहीं होती. But the problem was why he couldn't even take this kind of statements, because of the moh is so deep rooted. Moh is a very, like, that's what we know. It's a virus which will go all over our body, and it makes us like incapacitated, right? Incapable of taking. So then 7th slok we always read. That's why Arjun's 7th slok is Arjun's Pratana. We always do that, Karpanya Dosha. And that's why Arjun has accepted that I have a problem here. So the teaching starts from 11th slok. And that's where the entire Bhagavad Gita, if you see that based on 11th slok, Bhagavan has started answering. So this is the first slok where the entire teaching is built on this slok. So 11th slok, Pankaj bhai, you want to take it 11th slok? Give some few minutes of.
Sure, yeah. 11वां श्लोक है.
Yeah, 2nd chapter.
श्री भगवान उवाच अशोच्यान्नवशोचसस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादाश्च भाषसे गतासून गतासूंश् नानुशोचन्ति पंडिताः. हे अर्जुन, तू न शोक करने योग्यों के लिए शोक करता है और पंडितों के से वचनों को कहता है, परंतु पंडित जन जिनके प्राण चले गए हैं उनके लिए और जिनके प्राण नहीं गए हैं उनके लिए भी नहीं शोक करते हैं. So this is pretty deep.
This is the beginning of the teaching.
This is the essence of the teaching. Yeah.
Yeah, beginning of, yeah. This is the entire teaching is based on this shloka.
Yeah.
So now there is a gatasoon and agatasoon. There are two words right here. So gata asu means something existing, life we can say. So gatasoon means the life is gone. So it's not about just the body; it is the situation also. And agatasoon means which has not yet come. So Arjun की problem क्या हो गई इस समय पंकज भाई? Like what is his problem here?
तो उसकी प्रॉब्लम जो है कि चूंकि एम आई या यू कैन हियर मी राइट,
yeah.
तो उसकी प्रॉब्लम तो सबसे बड़ी ये है कि उसको समझ में नहीं आ रहा है क्या काम करना चाहिए। दैट्स नंबर वन। और नंबर टू चीज ये है कि उसको अपने सब रिलेटिव्स और रिश्तेदार सब सामने दिखाई दे रहे हैं, बेसिकली जिनसे उनको माया है, कि उनका वध कैसे करें, उनका उनका वध करेंगे तो हमको पाप लगेगा। सो जो चीजें आपको नहीं सोचनी चाहिए उसके बारे में आप सोच रहे हो कि आपको ज्ञान नहीं है, और जो चीजें सोचनी चाहिए वो नहीं सोच रहे हैं क्योंकि आपको सही ज्ञान नहीं है।
Yeah, that's
और
correct.
ऐसे में कई बार होता है लोग एकदम ज्ञानवान की तरह भाषण देते हैं, तो वही भगवान कह रहे हैं कि तुम वैसे बोल रहे हो कि जो लोग चले गए हैं और जो नहीं गए हैं उनके लिए ज्ञानी लोग सोच नहीं करते। अच्छा, आप सोचिए कि जो लोग चले गए हैं उनका सोच क्या, उनका सोच यह है कि उनकी फैमिली थी, उनका ये था, उनका वो था, बेचारों को छोड़ के जाना पड़ा। और जो नहीं गए हैं वो भी उसी में फंसे हुए हैं कि हमको ये मिल जाए, हमको वो मिल जाए, हमको वो मिल जाए। तो इसीलिए भगवान कह रहे हैं कि जो लोग चले गए हैं और जो नहीं गए हैं उनके बारे में आप चिंता न करिए।
Yeah, so another thing is that because जो जो चलेगा means the past, और जो नहीं आया that's the future, and this is the biggest problem of humanity all over the history, even modern time also the same problem. Either we spend time in the past, regurgitating the past, ruminating the past, or we are become anxious about the future. So ruminating is the word used for past, and anxiety is used for the future, unknown. Anxiety is always about unknown. But both these things, ruminating and anxiety, converts into stress and depression. And that's what, so Bhagwan, look at the Bhagwan is a psychologist also. He's addressing the core problem. Because Arjun is worried about कि अब अरे ये खत्म हो जाएंगे. He is saying कि war में the men will die, so the women will be widows, and then the children will be parentless, and this will disarray the society. अरे अभी हुआ ही नहीं है, and you are here for a dharma yuddha, and you are thinking all this because he is finding the escape. And the same thing he's saying, oh, past में ऐसा हो गया था. Past, you don't bring the past right now. So we have a term used in sports also, very popular term these are used in sports, the flow state. Flow state means remain in presence. So most of the coaches in American NBA, NFL, all those things, they tell the players that whatever you previous game you lost it or previous play was not good, forget about that. Because the moment you are bothered about the previous play or previous game, the result of that, it is going to impact your performance in the present. So remain in present. They call it flow state. Very popular in sports. But that's what Bhagwan wants to bring Arjun to flow state. Because by being in the future and past, you are losing your strength, the skill जो अर्जुन का था. So that's why this श्लोक is a very very well. इसको तो इस पे जब आप सोचिए तो we can apply this in life in every situation, and that's what we do most of the time. We are either past or future, and we so that's what they say, like we kill our present with the past and the future, and stay like इस पल में, जिसको हमारे यहाँ बहुत सारे गाने पल, इस पल के लिए कि यही पल सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है. And that's what is Bhagwan wants to bring him to the current state, the in presence. We call it remain in presence. And that is where the whole teaching इसके बाद start की भगवान ने. So पहले तो भगवान अर्जुन बोला कि तू, because even if he is not present, Bhagwan cannot teach. So Bhagwan is saying is get over your anxiety, get over your regurgitating or ruminating the past, stay in presence. Then I'll start teaching. और उसके बाद भगवान ने फिर शुरू किया. So that is very important for us as sadhak also. कि अगर हमें कुछ सीखना, and this applies to every field, but we are in आध्यात्मिक like स्वाध्याय कर रहे हैं, तो स्वाध्याय के लिए भी this is very important that we just keep the past and future away, and then we can enjoy that, the study or whatever we do. Otherwise we can do that, but it doesn't, इवन हमारे यहाँ तो कंडीशन है श्रवणम की. Shravanam is an art of hearing. We call it these days. A lot of popular. There's an art of hearing. तो जब श्रवण भी करते हैं, जब कुछ भी सुन रहे हैं, कथा सुन रहे हैं या किसी का प्रवचन सुन रहे हैं या ब्रॉडकास्ट सुन रहे हैं, it has to be 100%. Then only the teaching will. Then I'll be able to do the mananam. अगर मैंने ठीक से सुना ही नहीं है, तो then what are going to do mananam? And if I'm not able to do mananam, there is no nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam is the teaching becomes part of me. And we all know that, right? And that's the reason we'll go to 6th chapter of Abhyas. Bhagavan will do it again, again, and again. And this is a very core shlok, the very basic. So that is what. So now we'll touch one more shlok which Bhagavan talks about in the crux of like the whole teaching. ज्ञान क्या है?
अच्छा मेरा साहब, एक चीज आप जरा इसमें और स्पष्ट करिए कि अगर हमको भविष्य और पूर्व नहीं देखना है तो हम इतिहास जो हमारा है, राइट, इतिहास से तो हम शिक्षा लेते हैं, राइट. सो आई थिंक किसने एक बार किसी ने ही सवाल किया था कि हमारा जो इतिहास है, जो हमने सीखा है, जो हो चुका है, उससे हम शिक्षा लेते हैं, तो उसको किस संसर्ग में देखा जाए इस शिक्षा के माध्यम से.
या वेरी गुड. तो ये तो बहुत लोग पूछते हैं. दिस इज वेरी गुड. इसका आंसर भी बहुत इजी भी है. We always have to do chronological planning and thinking. Chronological तो करना ही है कि मेरे अगर 2 बच्चे छोटे हैं तो और मेरा कैलेंडर है और ये आगे करना है. प्रॉब्लम अर्जुन की है साइकोलॉजिकल. So what Bhagwan is, the whole Bhagavad Gita teaching is psychological. तो भगवान is never saying chronological. नहीं तो वो युद्ध बंद ही कर देते ना. अगर ये तो उनको पता है इसके बाद राजा भी बनना है, that he knows, that's a chronology कि आपको राजा भी बनना है, वो सब करना है. साइकोलॉजिकल इज ए प्रॉब्लम. डिप्रेशन कभी क्रोनोलॉजी से नहीं आता. अगर मैं कैलेंडर देख के सोचूं कि अभी तो यार मतलब आई हैव टू डिलीवर समथिंग, सपोज आई हैव टू गिव अ डिलीवरी इन ऑफिस सम प्रोजेक्ट एंड आई हैव टू डिलीवर दिस ऑन मंडे मॉर्निंग एंड संडे इवनिंग व्हेन आई ओह इट्स ओनली 12 hours left. So chronologically 12 hours left, but then I get depressed, right? But the purpose of that calendar was to plan ahead, right? We have to, like हमारे the boss थे वो बोलते थे कि on the Friday meeting, we finishing the meeting, he said, I think we should be completing it by Monday. So somebody said, today is Friday. He said, so what? There is Saturday, Sunday also. So that chronological planning we had to do psychologically. So Bhagavan is saying about psychology, and that's the simple way it goes. So with that, we'll read 24 shlok, which is the teaching. In the 2nd chapter, the 24 shlok, there are all 11 to 29. The only thing Bhagavan talked about Atma Gyan. And आपने यहाँ लिखा हुआ Atma Gyan means nature of Atma Gyan means knowing the Atma, which is myself. कोई दूसरा नहीं है. And that is called Gyan Yoga, गीता के टर्म में. So 24 shlok है. I know maybe Shivanji, you want to read that or just 24th shlok of 2nd chapter. Oh, we have taken enough time, but anyway, yeah, that's good to revisit. Yeah, we'll take one more shlok. So 20.
Chedyoham adhyoham.
Yeah, achedyoyam adhayoyam.
I'm just not doing justice to it.
No, so let me read the Sanskrit part. Achedyoyam adhayoyam akledyo ashosya evacha nityah sarvagata sthanur achalo ayam sanatana. You can read the English part. Yeah.
The self is eternal, all-pervading, immutable, stable, and ancient. Therefore, it cannot be cut or burned or drowned or dried up.
So why Bhagwan has brought this here?
Differentiating the Atman from the body.
Yes.
Body has all those features, what she's saying here, which don't apply to the Atman.
Yeah, and that's what when we go to 13th chapter is based on this shlok actually. The entire, it's not the entire, but the 13th chapter is expansion of this shlok. And the problem is Arjun is thinking कि ये मर जाएंगे और मैं मर जाऊंगा. And so Bhagavan wants to clear here that the body dies, not the Atma. And that is called Atma Gyan. जब हम लोग सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन बोलते हैं या जिसको बहुत सारे नाम देते हैं, it is exactly knowing that I am not this body. Because जो पंकज भाई वही वाली बात है कि the body means psychological relationship. And body is always like perishable. Not only body, यहाँ से body से मतलब 13th chapter is beautiful actually. So body means not only the body means the sansar around the body also. That is also part of that. So that is the fear. So Bhagwan says कि let's not talk about the body. पूरे इसमें body की बात ही नहीं करते भगवान. Let's talk about the Atma, because once you know that you are Atma, that is Atma Gyan. And that's called Brahma Vidya also, because Atma and Brahma is the same thing. And that's what Bhagavad Gita is, nothing but the Shastra of Brahma Vidya. So this shlok is very powerful, and then these are the characteristics. It cannot be cut, it cannot be burned, it cannot be dried, it cannot be wet, and it is Sarvagata, all pervading. Achala, it doesn't move. That's why we say that हमारे जब death होती है कि or remain in peace and all or we say that soul should go to heaven. There is nothing. So आत्मा कहीं जाती नहीं है. आत्मा is always there. कोई कहीं स्वर्ग वर्ग नहीं जाती. ये सब बना लिए हैं लोगों ने, ठीक है वो, but that's not correct. And always stable. It's one always there. Like electricity example. Electricity doesn't go anywhere. Bulb dies, bulb can be replaced. Electricity is always there. And that's what, so this is the crux. If ये अगर तो पूरी भगवद गीता में ये वाला श्लोक which describes what is Atma, and then we'll read one more श्लोक because we almost third chapter का, which is कर्म योग, because कर्म and ज्ञान दो चीज समझ में आनी चाहिए. And once we know कर्म and ज्ञान, then when we move forward in the Bhagavad Gita, so we'll take 9, 11, 21. So which one is, I mean, we can read all, but with the time, it's in 9. Let me see which one. 11, 21, and 37 will be better. Okay. Yeah. So 37 shlok of third chapter. So what drives the karma in Bhagwan tells? And so the pura 33rd chapter is about karma, but that 37 श्लोक exactly tells कि ये हम क्यों कर्म करते हैं. And कर्म यहाँ पर भगवान is saying the कर्म is मोह ड्रिवन कर्म. निष्काम कर्म हो गया तो फिर प्रॉब्लम खत्म हो गई. But भगवान is telling कि why we cannot do निष्काम कर्म. And so that 37 श्लोक, anyway, somebody wants to read that or?
काम एष क्रोध एष रजोगुण समुद्भव.
Yes.
महाशनो महापापम
पापमा
विद्येन हि वैरिणम.
Yes.
Sri Bhagavan Krishna replied, it is calm or desire as well as krodh or anger arising out of rajoguna, passion and externalization. This karma is a great eater and a great sinner. Know this to be your enemy in this world.
See, so that's what third chapter, the karma, Arjun पूछा था कि what drives us to keep doing the karma? And it is again, he's saying sakam karma. Nishkam karma हो गया तो फिर problem ही खत्म हो गई. But if you understand, so this is the problem, Rajogun. And with the entire 14th chapter. So Bhagavan is saying Rajogun makes us to keep doing this. And that drives the desires. Rajogun means desires, calm. Calm converts into krodh. I mean, if the calm is fulfilled, then you're happy, but nobody is, not every time you will be able to complete everything you want. So then it becomes krodh. So the biggest problem is the Rajogun. And Rajogun, karma, and then third chapter, Bhagavan says, karma we have to keep doing karma. There's no one can escape karma. He said, even I have to do karma, in spite of I have taken avatar, right? I had nothing to do with it. So the only thing, who is driving the karma? Either a sattva is driving the karma or rajogun or tamogun. But Bhagavan says rajogun samudbhava. So the problem, Arjun, is not karma. Arjun was saying, फिर आप मेरे को पूछा था कि ज्ञान ठीक है तो फिर कर्म में क्यों? Why are you putting into karma? Again escape. He said, no. Karma is, you have to do karma. The only thing, who is the driver? If the driver is Rajogun, Rajogun is passion, or always looking for the result. That's Rajogun, which is modern time everybody is Rajoguni hum log sab. So what Bhagavan says, so these, they are limited shlok, these are the fundamental shlok. If we don't get that's why we have to read them again and again. And it's good, Shripaji, you said last time we need to, because 13th chapter में हम जब जाएंगे ना, if we don't have this concept clear, that's why when अभी एकल विद्यालय का जो प्रोजेक्ट हम चलाते हैं, तो हमने when we started tribal education like 30 years ago, we realized कि गांव में क्या होता था कि the people used to exploit these people, कि उसके पेपर पे साइन करा लिए कहीं भी, उसको पढ़ना नहीं आता था, कहीं भी उसकी जमीन ले ली. देन वी रियलाइज कि इसको कम से कम इसको पढ़ना आना चाहिए और थोड़ा सा मैथ आना चाहिए. उसमें लिखा हुआ 4000, तो ही शुड बी एबल टू रीड कि 4000 इज रिटन. सो होल एकल विद्यालय वी स्टार्टेड विद दैट. सो दैट्स अ की, राइट? लैंग्वेज एंड मैथ, बेसिक मैथ, गुणा भाग आना चाहिए. नंबर की 4 लिखा है, 4 + 4 8 है. दिस इज लाइक दैट. सी, जो ज्ञान कर्म है, दे आर लाइक दैट. वी नीड टू नो अल्फाबेट. ग्रामर वामर बात की बात है, वो छोड़ो, लेकिन अल्फाबेट है तो यू कैन रीड व्हाट इज रिटन. दैट्स व्हाई वी से बेसिक एजुकेशन, अक्षर ज्ञान. सो अनलेस वी नो व्हाट इज ज्ञान एंड कर्म, द एंटायर भगवद गीता टीचिंग इज बेस्ड ऑन दीज टू. So anyway, good you asked, we revisited. So I can share this slide with everyone, and this is a summary of every chapter, and there are shlok which, if we can revisit those shlok, that summarizes what is in that chapter, right? So
आपने आगे जो बाद के चैप्टर्स उनमें श्लोक उसमें आइडेंटिफाई नहीं किए.
नहीं किए ना आगे, यहाँ पर नहीं, 13 तक किए. मेरे को वी आर ऑन
13 तक.
या वो तो मैं आगे इसमें डाल रहा हूँ. आई एम अपडेटिंग. so because we are going to 13, so I just wanted to make sure that if anybody wants to visit, it is always good. Otherwise क्या होता है कि, and you can read English part. I mean, it doesn't have to be just Sanskrit पढ़ सकते हैं, but at least by reading this we know, because 13 onwards the whole thing is going to change. Bhagwan is taking us to the little advanced stage. Assuming that we all know all these things, right? अर्जुन को भी assuming, he keeps asking, but हमारे पास तो opportunity asking की नहीं है ना भगवान से, अभी वो तो गई. So but Arjun has done enough. And 12th chapter is very unique position there. We finished last time. It is just Bhagwan, before he wanted to, he didn't, Arjun asked, but there are two versions in the Bhagavad Gita. One version mein, there is a question in the beginning of 13th chapter where Arjun is asking what is Kshetra Kshetragya. And some other versions, Arjun is not asking, Bhagwan is answering on his own. Maybe realizing that I have to, so the 24th shlok of 2nd chapter, where Bhagwan says, what is Atma? And so that's what he is going to elaborate, ki what is Sharir. Bahut pyara 13th chapter. I think if we get that, and Chinmayanand used to say, it is like dissecting the teaching, entire teaching. It's a dissection, like you just cut in the between and see what is inside the body. Like dissection jab karte hain, you can see inside. So this chapter is like that. We dissect the whole teaching and see what is inside. Bada pyara. So we'll continue with this chapter next time when we meet. But it's good we visited, and I prepared this. I mean, it मेरे पास पहले भी थी, but I just updated few more things in that, and I'll share with everyone. So when you get a chance, you can look up. Like for example, now 6, we saw that 7 to 11th is all Vishwarup, Bhagwan. So first part is Tvam, second part is Tat, which is Bhagwan, and then last 13 onwards, the Tat and Tvam Ekam is Asi, we can say. We become one. So it's like a higher study. But this part where Bhagwan Ishwar Sarupam, and we saw that Ishwar Sarupam also, it is not, we saw last time there are levels also. So Hamare Shastra, even Bhagavad Gita is very clear. I mean, sometimes people say Bhagavad Gita is only for the study. No. Bhagwan has said that, yeah, you can, he says that आप इष्टदेव की पूजा कर सकते एक रूप की भी, and he says that, right? You can do, then you do Vishwarup puja, and then he's saying Arup puja, means Nirgun Brahma ki puja. All three is, so he's not discarding anything, whatever level you are, but ultimately you have to come to the Nirgun because otherwise there's always a limitation, and we know these days. And I always say there is a board on Banksville. Whenever I walk there, it says diversity, or जो भी interfaith वाला किसी का है, कि all these different prayers or different traditions bring us together. अरे मैं बोलता हूँ गलत लिखा हुआ है, that you are fighting for that, right? That whole board is wrong. You created so much diversity and then you are fighting for that, because more diverse you are without understanding. If there is understanding, there is no problem, but people don't have understanding, and that's where we are. So Bhagwan is saying कि ये इष्टरूप और विश्वरूप, लेकिन ultimately it is निर्गुण उपासना भी होनी चाहिए. So we'll do our ध्यान with all this understanding. ध्यान का और मजा बढ़ जाता है. Just a very quick anecdote and we'll do that. So there is this guy, he was always living in his house. उसका कमरा था, उसमें ही रहता था, कहीं जाता नहीं था. And there is a small window in his room. So he used to see the sky from his window. And he said, the sky is 4x4. Because he used to go out in the night time. So night time there is no sky. एक बार उसका कोई दोस्त आया, उसने बोला कि यार मैं देख रहा हूँ कि sky is, so he said no, sky is, there's no size and there's no shape. He said no, मैं अपने रूम में देख रहा हूँ 4x4 का है. I can say. He said no, daytime you come out with me. And then he took him outside. He said, now measure it. He said, it is immeasurable. Now what is the shape? Is it a square? He said, no, there is no shape. So that's what we do. हम लोग एक कमरे में बैठ के भगवान को देख रहे हैं, तो हमें वो छोटा सा ही भगवान दिखता है. But if you go out, there is निर्गुण है, निराकार. Everything is भगवान. निराकार से हमारे ऋषियों ने नहीं कहा कि वो कोई आकार नहीं. Every आकार is भगवान. निराकार से ये नहीं है कि कुछ नहीं है ना. एवरीथिंग इज भगवान. सर्व, आई मीन वी सी इन भगवद गीता, वासुदेव सर्वमिति. एवरीथिंग इज भगवान, एंड दैट इज निराकार. So, and that sadhana, that is a maturity, and with that we'll go to 13 chapters, but let's do then. So I'll stop this sharing now. I'm sure, I mean, everybody agrees. I mean, I personally feel that more we understand, more there is a joy in when we sit in dhyan, like sit for dhyan, not in dhyan, sit for dhyan. It helps this understanding, right? Yeah, so we'll do the same thing. The yatra is again from Panchabhut, which is the grossest form of Bhagwan, and myself, like the body is part of Panchabhut. And then we realize that I'm from Panchabhut to Sakshi Chaitanya Atma, which is, we saw the 24th slok, right? Achedyoyam adayoyam akledyo ashesh evacho nitya sarvagata sthanur achaloyam sanatana. That is me. Hamara wo, that is our definition actually. If somebody asks, my name is just given for purpose, passport and everything, but that is not me. My identity is, तो रमन महर्षि के बारे में कहते हैं, उनसे कोई, he didn't have much teaching. फिर भी लोग पूछते थे कि क्या करें, तो बोलते थे just keep asking who am I. That's what he said. आंख बंद करके बैठो and just keep asking who am I. That's it. किसी दिन उत्तर मिलेगा. And that उत्तर is that, yeah. नित्य सर्वगत स्थाणु अचलो वयम sanatana. Sanatana, eternal. There's no beginning, there's no end. There's no shape, there's no achedyoyam, adayoyam. You cannot cut it. If there is a shape, you can cut it, but there's no shape. निर्गुण, क्या काटोगे? अशोष्य, आसमान को, आकाश को कैसे सुखा सकते हैं? You cannot dry it. You don't know what it is. Is it wet or dry? It's like that. It's all sarvagata sthanam. So that is our nature, and that is what Bhagavad Gita's core teaching is. And with that understanding, when we do the karma, because karma has to happen, then it becomes nishkam karma. And then the whole teaching goes right. Okay, so with that thought, we'll just do all right. We'll say Om, take a deep breath. It's again diaphragmatic breathing, which helps in, there are various neuroscience behind that. But so take a deep breath. When we have time, you can, and we do it like it takes 1 minute to do 6 times this Om with deep breathing. So it helps to activate our nervous system, and there are various benefits, right? So keep the focus on the tip of the nostril and think of Pratit Tattva. In 13th chapter, we are going to go into detail why this body is, what is the relationship between Prithvi Tattva and body. Very nicely done. So keep the focus on the tip of the nostril and think of Prithvi Tattva. For us, it is Bhudevi, Bhagwan's Roop actually. Shift focus to the tip of the tongue and think of Jal Tattva. Attention to the tip of the tongue, and there is a whole reason for that, but because through tongue we enjoy the ras, which is liquid, or so jal. Jal means any fountain, river, anything, which is Bhagwan's Swarup. Now shift focus to the eyes and think of Agni Tattva, which can be Surya Bhagwan. Now shift focus to the skin and feel the Vayu, the Pavan, or the wind or air, which we cannot see, we cannot touch, but we can feel on skin. That is the fourth sense of perception, Tvacha, and Vayu is the fourth element. Now shift focus to the ear and think of space, which is around me, it's inside me, and the sound travels in space, so we can hear some sound. That means there is a space, right? Because sound is traveling. Now Bhagwan says, and this is from the 6th chapter, after doing this, think that I am not this body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, not even the ego, which is identity, body identity. I am the Sakshi Chaitanya Atma. And in this 13th chapter, we'll see that is called Kshetragya, that awareness. And we will talk about that, a nice concept in 13th chapter, consciousness and awareness. So awareness means which is the Sakshi, the observer, which is not a participating agent in what is happening with the body or mind. So we can observe the mind now. So far we are observing those senses. Now this is Sakshi, because mind was doing the observation. Now we are observing the mind, because I am not even the mind. And this is very fascinating and very, very enchanting also. Bada maza aata, like if you observe the mind is nothing but flow of thoughts. So thoughts will come and go, come and go. So only thing what we need to do a little bit is that don't chase thoughts. Let them go, let them come. Every thought will end. If we don't chase, there'll be a gap between next thought. And when we do this practice more and more, the gap increases. And the more the gap is, and our rishis have called that gap samadhi, because there is nothing in that. The only thing for a sadhak like Bhagavad Gita or Sanatana, that we can, Bhagwan says in Bhagavad Gita, brahmachari nevrati, that time do a brahma vichar and yukta asit matpara, and stay in that I am the ultimate goal, Bhagwan or Sakshi Chaitanya. Just keep that thought in mind. No, because thoughts will stop coming. In the gap, put that thought that this is all Bhagwan, Brahman, or we can say Om, bring image of Om, or just that's it. And Yukta Asit Matpara. Or don't do anything, just be there. And this state is a timelessness state, because there is no time in this. This is the highest psychological state where there is no time here. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Kuri Krishna Kanaya Lal ki. Sorry. Yeah, so this is some of my friends